I haven't done a walkabout in quite a while, given the ice storm and all sorts of garden cleanup that needed to be done after the storm and different projects. So I thought I would, as I'm getting ready to hopefully put the garden to bed, talk with you about some things that have been going on. It's very windy today. It has been very dry and windy. If it looks as if it has just rained, it's only because I have just watered, and I'll be honest, I'm getting tired of watering. It is mid to late November, and normally I am not watering by now, but so many things took a hit during the ice storm. They need a little bit of extra TLC, and also, again, it's been very windy, so things are drying out. And lots of plant transpiration going on, lots of wicking away of moisture. So here is one of my Boxwood Topiary that I thought I had lost in the ice storm, and you can see it is bent but not broken, and I will rectify that. It's on my list of things to do. And my topiary stand has now been replaced with my wood pile, which is very nice. My fireplace in the kitchen is one of my great joys in life, and that pile will diminish and be gone in no time at all. So I want to show you a couple of other things down here. Some of these things might be helpful tips for you as well. I am salvaging some of the stumps from my massive oak tree and the damage in the front. Aren't they just beautiful? I really think they are. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them, but in the meantime, they make nice little side tables or plant stands. Obviously, they need to be leveled a bit. All of the terracotta pots that used to be on here, I have removed. And now Father Claus is holding center stage. A number of you asked where I got him, and he was actually a gift to me from a dear client of mine a number of years ago, and it's one of my real treasures. It is concrete, but I've cleared this off in anticipation of hopefully having some very small outdoor gatherings around Thanksgiving, namely my son coming home for his birthday, which is just a couple of days before, with his fiance, and a friend's birthday. We hope to be able to have a little celebration outside. Again, very small and outdoors. I'm pretty proud of this, you guys. I've cleaned up my nasty potting area. And some of you have asked, how do I store my gravel and my potting soil? Now, this is a work in progress right now because I've got lots of amaryllis bulbs that I am potting up and bringing indoors. But this is how I store my gravel and my potting soil, in these old laundry tubs. And then, to prevent water getting in them and leafy debris, I just have a piece of plastic. It's actually plastic that's used for sealing recessed lighting. You can see I've had it for a while and it's chipped, but it does a good job of keeping moisture out. So I've kind of cleaned this area up a little bit. I've got more projects to do, and then I'll give it one final sweep before it too will go to bed for the winter. I'm ready to hibernate. I don't know about you guys. You may have seen in some of my posts, largely on Instagram, and if you're not following me on Instagram, if you just Google my name, Linda Vater, you'll come up with Potager Blog, and that's what I go under on Instagram. But that we've been having some wonderful outdoor fires here, small outdoor fires. Now, when it is this windy, absolutely, we do not have any kind of fire. You can hear the wind howling right now. And oftentimes, Oklahoma is on a burn ban where we can't have any kind of outdoor fire. But because of the recent ice storm and all the moisture it brought, and by the way, that was the only time it's been freezing so far this year. And I don't see a frost on the horizon for the next 10 days. It's really been amazing. don't know whether to be pleased or worried. This little fireplace that you have asked about was designed off of one that I saw in a state park years ago, and there's really no trick to it. All it is basically is just an outer casing of flagstone. I would say it's been here for probably 25 years, and in the past it used to have some rebar grating across the top so that we could grill a steak, or now it's mostly just used for a small fire to roast weenies or whatever. There's no, the chimney behind it is just a faux chimney. It is solid. It's mostly just there to look like a little fireplace, but it's cute. And despite the fact that I've lost a couple stones off of it, it has aged really well, and it makes a wonderful small little fireplace by the dining deck. During cooler weather or in the spring, I often like to light my little fires when I'm working out in the garden on cool days. And it has its own little firewood pile next to it. Laura at Garden Answer just did a wonderful video on how she cares for her lemon cypress. And these have managed to make it through the summer. And there is one of those darling little cryptomeria in this faux bois pot. So you might want to check out that video. I have found that it's just, they don't like heat. They're just finicky. They don't like heat. They don't ever like to dry out. I don't really even think like the wind. But for this time of year, they love cool temperatures that are not much below freezing. And right now I think they look really sweet on this table. So a lot of times they don't last, but I enjoy them while they do. This one in the center I've had for a couple of years now, actually. And this time of year it really reminds me about lemon cypress. And I like the way they look with all of the dark boxwood on the steps in the background. And for those of you who are new to the channel, those boxwood stay out year round. I do not bring them in. Over here, this is the area that this time of year gets a lot of use. I've got a wonderful little fire grate that I got off of eBay here that's portable. We take it with us when we go camping or outdoor picnicking. It's pretty wonderful. Like I say, I got it off of eBay, and I hope to have a source for you pretty soon. But we have been having just lovely coffee, tea in the afternoon, wine in the evening, little conversations in this I call it the bistro area. It's just basically a little conversation pit area. Over here, that tutor in the corner that came from Gardener's Supply. It's a Jardin tutor. It was relocated from another part of the garden because I wanted some height there. Now, I have talked about the camellias, the Sasanqua camellias from Southern Living Plant Collection, and they do send me these plants to try out, you guys. And I have planted some here in the past, and they've taken a little while to get established. And then this one got pretty damaged in the ice storm. But look, there's all sorts of happy buds on it, as there is on a companion below. And so maybe I'll be successful at camellias after all. They do have a harder time getting established, but I think once they do, I hope to be successful with them, which leads me to the fact that I'm going to plant another one here to kind of hide those cable lines. That's an early wonder. I'm going to plant another one there in the corner. This area was about the only area, I guess, in the backyard that got pretty hard hit by the ice storm. For the most part, the back didn't suffer too much damage other than off of the trees, mostly over this sitting area here, the bistro area. And that, you've asked me what it is. It's a Chinese Snowball Viburnum of the smaller flowered variety, but you can see that there is some damage. And I'm still waiting for some tree pruning on this beautiful red bud. but it will give me more light to the hydrangeas below. So all is not lost. And a lot of plants have been taken in. I am getting ready. You can see I've got a big project getting ready to start here. I'm going to plant up a bunch of bulbs in pots. I'll try to share that with you. This weekend is all about bulb planting in the garden and in pots. And once I get that done, I will feel so much better. Once I get those guys tucked in for the winter, I'm much happier. Now another thing that I changed, all of those terracotta pots that were over here are now on this plant stand where my boxwood, my collection of Boxwood Topiary is. And they are now overwintering here. This faces north, so temperature fluctuation should be at a minimum. And I just keep blowing leaves on them. Now these, once the weather starts getting really cold, I will put a tarp over this stand to protect all of these little darlings. I used to put them in the garage, but being an old house with a very old garage, space is always at a minimum and is to be highly valued. These large boxwood topiaries, again, if you're new to my channel, they all stay inside. You can see here I lost a huge limb off of this redbud tree, but it makes a handy little perch for a basket. I think this year I'm going to light these 2 Oakland hollies. That's they're a southern living plant, and I think I'm gonna light both of those hollies this year so that I'll have something gay to look at when I look out my kitchen window. I did a video on overwintering all of my turtles. Oh, them too. My myrtle topiaries. But right now, again, it's not freezing, so they're just staying outside, soaking up as much sun as they possibly can to go in for the winter. And they look sweet here. They're easy for me to water. So they just get to vacation outside longer. Now over here was something I wanted to show you. This is a golden Oakland holly, and it was in kind of a wonky conical shape, and I pruned it back so it's in more of a globular form that will be round. But this is what happens when you prune too late in the season. You can see those brown new shoots. That's because it put out new growth that then got nipped. I'm not worried too much. It will recover in the spring. But obviously you don't want to prune, for example, my huge boxwood balls or my boxwood hedge in the back, because that encourages new growth. And when that comes out, that new foliage can be nipped. I'm getting ready to water the back in the potager. I have concentrated a lot back here, you guys, because there was so much to do. You can see that my hose is still out. I'm getting ready to water back here. I still have bulbs to plant in between that Swiss chard I showed you. But again, that's going to happen this weekend. But look at how barren this bed looks now, because I cut back all the tall phlox that had powdery mildew. I removed that brown turkey fig that had gotten way too big for the space that was quite in front of the lattice. This Arborvitae here on the left was really set awry by the ice storm, and I had to restake it. So I did lots of cleanup, cut back all of the mums, and so now this bed looks rather empty, rather barren. I sprinkled more poppy seeds, and I'm going to give it a water, and then this whole area I'll be able to pretty much put to bed. I won't have too much more to do back here. So that's what's going on in my neck of the woods. I wanted to share with you some updates And in case you're missing Oklahoma wind, you can experience it right along with me. So from my windy garden to yours,